In John's Gospel, chapter 19, we hear the last three words of Christ. He said very simply, "It is finished." Those words were proclaimed on Good Friday in our Passion reading, were proclaimed as Jesus hung upon a cross high above the world, a new sort of throne, when he said it to a culture that was very much living in darkness, that had really very much turned in on itself, to a group of people that were filled with hatred, and also to people that had lost their way because they forgot what life was all about, and forgot about how beautiful and sacred the dignity of life can be. You see, the first three words of the Bible are "in the beginning." And in the beginning, God had a vision for all life and for all of creation. Before he even placed anything upon the earth, he flushed it with water, placing water all around the earth, because water is something that is cleansing. Water is something that is purifying. Water is something that brings people in darkness into the light of Christ. And water is such a precious gift that the Lord gives to us because it's necessary for life. Our bodies are 70% water. Ironically, about 70% of the earth is covered with water. So it tells us how important it is as civilizations and cities and people live near places where water is abundant. And in that beautiful creation that God had planned, he had a vision for each one of us, and that was for a beautiful kingdom, for a place where we would one day be with him forever. When they went to the tomb on that Easter morning, they found it dark and empty. But the great irony of the tomb is it was anything but dark and empty, because it may have been that way among the rocks, but in the hearts of those who saw and believed. And 2,000 years later, my friends, we are here on this Easter Sunday morning as part of that population, part of that group that says, "I also believe." It is in our hearts that are not dark or empty, but rather can be filled with the light of Christ and the fullness of his glory and of his hope. On a particular day, each one of us was baptized. You may not remember what that day was. Last night we celebrated baptism with new members of our parish family, those who are in the conversion process and said yes to the Lord, who went down into the water of baptism to rise up with him in new life. Today we remember baptism because it brings us from darkness, from an ending into a new beginning. As a gift for every family on your way out today, and I say every family, that's one per family, because on Easter Sunday, above all days, thou shalt not steal, okay? I'm not sure where they've all gone so far. I'm looking here, and there's empty places already today, so it tells me that I'm not sure if people are drinking it, but we don't drink this water. This is holy water. It has been blessed, and in this year of faith, I ask for you to take it home as a reminder of your baptism, as a reminder of the day that you said yes to the Lord, or someone said yes for you, that this water is something for our life in Christ to be refreshed and to be renewed. Once again, you may not remember that day, and with this water, what you can do is each day, or keep it in a special place, or maybe when you're feeling that there's a lot of challenges and a lot of weight in life, where perhaps burdens or sadness have gotten you down, bless yourself and say, "Lord, make me holy. Lord, I want to be sacred for you." I hope, my friends, that each one of us has that desire to be holy, to immerse ourselves in the waters of his life, so that we are not going forward and embracing and buying into a culture of death, but rather one that gives great life. It's a chance for us to say, Lord, make our land holy, our country, our world. Lord, help to make our church holy. And our church is holy because you are here. Our church is holy because the life that God created in every person that is here today, and in our life center, and in churches throughout the world, it is holy because you have said yes to him, and said yes to the water of life to run through our hearts. St. Louis de Montfort, one of the great saints of our church, said, God is the spring of all water that flows unceasingly into the hearts of those who pray. God is the spring of all living water who flows unceasingly into the hearts of those who pray. So, my friends, I invite you to join each day in prayer by blessing yourself and having that water of the Lord to go through our hearts, so that we can always remember that from this Easter Sunday forward, it was not finished, but rather God has called each of us, no matter what we have come here with today in our hearts, he's asking us to receive his love. He's asking us to be renewed. He's asking us to be refreshed with hope. He's asking us, my friends, to have a new beginning.